All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachaha Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing His truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to make a quick video real quick going into how under the new covenant, which is going to be the second covenant, we will not sin, but we will all be perfect, okay? Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because you got guys out there saying that we're already in the new covenant, but here it is, they sin daily and don't even know it, you know, such as wearing clothes with mixed fabrics, you know, that the food you eat is defiled when the scriptures tell you you're not supposed to defile your temple. But here it is, you're eating food and you don't even know what you're putting in your body. It could be pink slime. Your food is wrapped up in plastic, which contains bisphenol, which is a chemical known to cause cancer, osteoporosis, which is a bone deteriorating disease, hair loss, vision impairment, you know. And even the air you breathe is a sin, because they're spraying aluminum in the air, barium in the air, they're spraying arsenic in the air, they're spraying mercury in the air, they're spraying estrogen in the air, which estrogen is not really toxic to the body, because every man, you know, have estrogen in their body, but estrogen was really created for the woman to feminize her, to make her a feminine, okay? Men are not supposed to have too much estrogen in their body, but because, you know, Esau spraying all this estrogen in the air, you know, you got men amongst our nation that have been feminized to the point to where they're acting like women, rather directly or indirectly. And what I mean by indirectly, meaning, you know, they get all emotional, like the so-called black woman, you know, they don't deal with logic or reasoning, you know, instead they go off of their emotions. A lot of these guys act before they think, and then they end up in jail. They end up in prison, or in most cases, they end up dead. So, you know, as you will find out in this video, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, that under that second covenant, you know, we're going to be made perfect. Okay? We're not going to go around telling lies on other people. We're not going to be going around stealing, committing adultery, getting tattoos, you know, having negative thoughts, because the scriptures tell you that a foolish thought with the Lord is sin. You know? And there's not a single person on this planet who do not have foolish thoughts. Okay? And a foolish thought can be something as simple as, you know, you know, I'm not going to do this for my brother because he said this and that about me. And you know, the scriptures say you're supposed to help your brother, right? Talking about your brother in the faith that believe in Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah. So a foolish thought can also be sin with the Lord, you know. You know, and what's stopping you from having negative dreams, you know? Here it is, you know, you might go to sleep one night and you might have a homosexual dream. You might have a dream about committing adultery, which is out of your control, because it's really just demons fucking with you in your sleep. You know, because demons can and will mess with you in your sleep, cause you to have negative dreams, which is out of your control, you know. So The point of the matter is that we're not under the second covenant. Because if we were under the second covenant, we would not be in captivity. And that's another thing too. You got guys, here it is. We're in captivity. We're in captivity. Baruch 3 and 8 real quick. Okay, let's get Baruch 3 and 8. To prove to you that we are still this day in our captivity. Baruch 3 verse 8, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Now, you know, Baruch the scribe said this during the time of, because, you know, he was around when Jeremiah was around, okay? You know, and at around that time, I believe we were in captivity under the Babylonians when Baruch wrote this. So behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. But guess what? That applies to today. And how do we know that? Okay, Jeremiah, I believe it's the 28th chapter. Everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Okay, we are yet this day in our captivity. Just because it's written in the Old Testament does not mean that it don't apply to the present. Because there's a lot of prophecies written in the Old and as well as the New Testament that applies to the present, such as Romans, the first chapter. You know, even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, they became reprobates. Okay. You know, burned in their lust one after another. Men with men working that which is unseemly. That's happening today. Women who change the natural use of that which is against nature, that's going on today. So, you know, the point of the matter is that we're still this day in our captivity where thou hast scattered us. Are we still not scattered on the four corners of the earth? Okay. There's the Israelites living in Arabia, in India, Iran, Syria, Turkey. You got Israelites living in Russia, Germany, Europe. Okay. The UK. You got Israelites living in Australia, Brazil, South America, Mesoamerica, Mexico. You got Israelites living in Puerto Rico, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Philippines. You got Israelites living in China, Japan. The list goes on. So, yeah, we're still scattered. Where thou hast scattered us, what, for a reproach and a curse and to be subject to payments. Are we not still subject to payments? Okay, we got to pay rent. We got to pay bills. You got to pay internet. Without internet, how you going to upload your videos? Without electricity, how you going to keep your place warm in the wintertime? How you going to stay cool in the summertime? Okay, how you going to be able to watch videos without internet? You see, how you going to upload your videos without internet? Okay, electricity, you got to pay an electric bill. If you don't pay your electricity, your ass will be sleeping in the dark. Okay, you got to pay a gas bill. You got to pay you got to put gas in your car. If you don't put gas in your car, you won't be able to make it to work, which could lead to you possibly getting fired. It could lead to you getting reduced hours, penalties, punishments. Okay. Some of us might even get car tickets out of nowhere. You know, you got to pay rent. Okay, so we're all subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. So we are yet this day in our captivity, and that's pretty much the point. Okay, so, you know, how the hell are you going to be under the new covenant when you're still this day in your captivity? It don't add up. Okay, when Israel's under the new covenant, which will start with the elect, 2/3 will be judged, but the elect will go up into what the world calls so-called UFOs. Okay, let's get that real quick in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, because that new covenant, the second covenant, starts with the elect of Israel getting beamed up into what the world calls UFOs, into those new bodies, as I will read in Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, which will have the law, statutes, and commandments embedded into the minds of those bodies. Okay. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Let's see. Okay. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 20. But now is Yahushua Hamashiach, okay, risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. Okay, which that them is talking about the elect. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, right? Well, that's what ain't that what the Lord, ain't that a part of the judgment that the Lord brought upon Adam in the book of Genesis, the third chapter? Okay. Even so, in Yahushua HaMashiach shall all be made alive. And ultimately, yeah, because 2/3 of our people, they're going to receive mercy as well. They're not going to be burning in hell like some false Israelite groups out there teach. When there ain't no such place as an underworld called hell where souls burn forever, okay? But like it tells you in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, all goeth unto one place, which is the spirit world. And Job describes what the spirit world is like. And it's paradise up there. Paul has been to the spirit world, and it was so beautiful up there that he couldn't explain it. And there were things that he seen or heard that could not be uttered in the flesh. You see? So, but every man in his own order, Yahushua. So the elect is going to receive. So the 2/3 of our people, they're going to receive their mercy when they come back through the loins of the elect. Okay. Which they're going to come back through the loins of the elect through the act of sex. You also got other idiots out there teaching that there ain't going to be no sex in the kingdom of heaven. You know, we're just going to be angels floating around, you know, butt naked, wearing diapers, with harps in our hands, you know, playing beautifully before the Lord and shit. Nah, man, the kingdom of heaven is going to be here on earth. And those bodies that the elect is going to receive, you know, Lord's will of the elect. Okay, those glorious bodies, which the elect is going to be, those bodies are going to be extraterrestrial bodies, as Paul is going to explain in this chapter. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down. Okay, because this is all a part of the new covenant. For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. Right, sit thou on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool, right? Ain't that what King David said? My Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. In other words, Yahweh said to his son Yahushai, sit thou on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Okay, so all of our enemies, including the 2/3 of our people, are going to be put under the foot of Yahushai. Being put under the foot of Yahushai means being put into subjection. And if they refuse, they'll be put to death. Okay, it's going to be a lot of heads getting chopped off for the refusal to turn away from idols. And that's talking about our people who's living amongst these damn heathens. Because 2/3 of our people here in America, they're already going to be perishing in nuclear fire. So, okay, so, you know, as for the other Israelites around the world, you know, who refuse to repent, they either turn away from those idols or get their heads chopped off. Okay. What did Yahushua say? All they which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. For he have put all things under his feet. But when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I skipped over 26. Excuse me. 1 Corinthians 15 and 26. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Okay, and that's going to happen during that transition from these mortal bodies into those eternal bodies. Because once the spirit spirits of the elect, okay, get beamed up into those chariots, these current mortal bodies that the elect are in are going to be left behind. But the spirit is going up into those chariots. Because like the scriptures say, flesh, corruption cannot inherit incorruption, okay? And we know those so-called UFOs, which the angels, which are dark brown skinned men with woolly hair, we know those so-called UFOs are incorruptible. These bodies are corruptible, corruption. So we can't bring these bodies with us on what the world calls UFOs, okay? These bodies would disintegrate because those chariots are pure energy. They are a part of the spirit of the angels. Okay, so the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death, and that's going to happen when the spirit of the elect is transitioned transitioned from these mortal bodies into those incorruptible bodies, which will be waiting for them on what the world calls UFOs. Because once the spirit of the elect, is inside those bodies, those incorruptible, immortal, eternal bodies with the law, statutes, and commandments embedded into the mind of those bodies, there will be no more death. Like it tells you in Revelation, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Okay. And like it says in Revelation, he shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more mourning, nor sorrow, nor death. For the former things are passed away. That's going to start with when Yahushua returns and what the world calls a UFO, and the elect gets beamed up into what the world calls UFOs, where their spirits will be transitioned from the current bodies they're in now into those eternal bodies with the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments embedded into the mind of those bodies. Okay, only then will death be conquered. Like it tells you in Isaiah 14, where's thy sting, O death? Okay. For he had put all things under his feet. For when he had put all things under him, right, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. And when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son of Man be subject unto him that put all things under him, that God may be in awe. Right, the Israelites. Because when 2/3 of our people come back through the loins of the elect, they are going to be born incorruptible. Okay, so that's what Paul mean by that Yahweh may be in awe. Because the Lord, like it says in Jeremiah the 31st chapter, he's going to put his laws in our inward part. And that's a part of what the good news is. You know, we're never going to go off again. So are we under that second covenant? The answer is hell nah. No, we're still this day in our captivity, man. Here it is. We still got to go to work. We have no control whether if we can work on the Sabbath or not. Some of us have to cook at work on the Sabbath. You get these corruptible thoughts sometimes. Okay, so let's see. Let's skip down to verse 39. 1 Corinthians 15 and 39. It says, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, and another flesh of beasts, and another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies, which that's what the angels of the Lord travel around in celestial bodies. Okay. The word celestial means heavenly. So there's heavenly bodies. Okay. Bodies that do not require food for you to survive. Bodies that you don't have to breathe in order to survive. Bodies that you don't have to eat or drink in order to survive. Bodies that do not have bowel movements No, the angels, they're not up there farting or peeing in toilets inside of chariots, and they're not up there eating honey buns and Debbie snacks and steak subs. Nah, man. The angels don't eat. They don't get tired. They don't have to sleep. They don't get lethargic. Okay, they're not prone to illnesses, diseases, sicknesses, ailments. They're not prone to any of those things. Why? Because they have celestial bodies. Okay? Their bodies are designed to automatically obey the Lord. And that's what we're praying and patiently waiting for, to receive those extraterrestrial bodies, which will be subject to the obedience of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. See, right now we are in terrestrial bodies, which when you look up the word terres or terra, Terra, terra is another word for earthly. Okay? Terra literally means earthly. Okay? Okay, so a terrestrial body will be an earthly body. Okay, and these bodies were created here on earth. Okay, the moment we came out of our mother's womb, in which our bodies was created by the semen of our fathers. Okay, these bodies came out of the womb of our mothers being terrestrial, earthly bodies. But the elect is going to receive heavenly bodies, extraterrestrial bodies. And the reason why I say heavenly bodies is because these bodies, that the elect is going to receive when they get beamed up into chariots, these are not bodies that were created here on earth. These bodies were created in the heavens. Okay, so the elect is going to receive heavenly bodies where they could be obedient and be one with our God Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai. Okay, because you look at the angels and they're obedient to the Lord. There's not a single angel that is disobedient to the Lord. There's not a single angel that sins. Okay, so there are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. The glory of the celestial body is one, right? Because in a celestial body, you can travel in what the world calls space. You can go underwater. You can travel in lava and not be harmed. Okay, you could travel around the sun and not be burned, not be harmed. You could be on the moon and not be incinerated by the hot heat, because light generates heat. So I don't know why. I don't know where people's getting these ideas that you got astronauts that landed on the moon. Listen, if an astronaut ever landed on the moon, his ass would get melted from the heat of the light of the moon, because light generates heat. And the brighter the light, the hotter the heat is going to be. You know how bright the moon is at night? People don't understand how bright the moon is. And the closer you get to the moon, the brighter it's going to be. Because if you're down here on Earth, you're very, 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 very far from the moon. And as far as I'm concerned, ain't nobody even make it past the Van Allen's equator belt. Because the moment you attempt to do so, your ass is going to be incinerated. So in a celestial body, you'll be able to go to other planets. You'll be able to walk on the moon, Hell, you'll be able to walk on the sun with a celestial body and not be hurt, not be harmed. You'll be able to travel underwater for any amount of time. You'll be able to travel deep underneath the water in a celestial body. You see, so a extraterrestrial body is like a celestial body combined with a terrestrial body. If that makes sense. Because in a extraterrestrial body, we'll still be able to eat. Still be able to enjoy the pleasures of sex. We'll still be able to enjoy life. Know what cold water feel like, warm water, hot water. Know what heat, fire, ice, cold. Know what all those things feel like, and be able to generate those things just by thought, by words. Because in a terrestrial body, we enjoy the act of sex and eating and sleeping and dreaming. So in an extraterrestrial body, you'll be able to do that, except you'll have superhuman capabilities. Or super duper duper human capabilities. Okay? So the glory of the celestial body is one, and the glory of the terrestrial body is another, right? So in a terrestrial body, you can only go so deep underneath the ocean. Okay? Because the deeper you go underneath the ocean, the more pressure is put on your body. And it's a well-proven fact that there has been people who have went very, very deep below the ocean, and they started having trouble breathing inside their scuba diving suit. That's because of all that heavy body of water, that heavy body of water putting pressure on them, making it hard for them to breathe. And if you go too deep underneath the ocean, you will literally be crushed by all that heavy body of water. You can't go into outer space with these type of bodies. You can't get too close to fire. I mean, come on, man. Just walk up to a house fire without a firefighter suit on. Your ass will get scorched. You will feel that heat. You can't walk on the moon with these type of bodies. Even with a spacesuit on, your ass wouldn't last. You can't even go into so-called outer space without a spacesuit on with these bodies. Okay? You'll end up with hypoxia. But anyways, okay, it says there is one glory of the sun, right? The sun was created to what? Give heat, warmth, light, comfort, vitamins, minerals, all kind of goodly benefits to those that have melanin in their body, in their skin. And another glory of the moon, right? The moon was created for what? To the moon is often used to manipulate the mood of people here on the earth, to manipulate the tides, how high the tides of the ocean rises, and how low they rise. The moon was also created to provide, light at night, and also to dictate what when a new month begins, what day of the month we're in. And whereas the moon was also created to dictate when a day begins and when a day ends. Okay, so there is one glory of the sun and another of the moon and another glory of stars. And okay, for one star differeth from another star in glory. So every star is different from one another. Could you imagine that? It says, So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption. What it mean? What does it mean by sown in corruption? Meaning when you're born here on the earth, you're born corruptible. Isn't that why people grow up eating pork, committing adultery, committing homo acts, okay, getting a rod chopped off so they could be a woman, you know, pedophilia, bestiality, drinking blood, smoking, doing drugs, selling drugs. Okay, so that's what it means to be sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption, right? And the elect being raised in incorruption starts with them hearing this gospel, receiving it, and being sealed with this gospel, which is the word of Yahweh, which is Yahawashi. So is also the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. And right now, we are in a weak state. These bodies are weak. You know, you stand up at work for 8 hours and your feet hurting. You know, your toes might be rubbing up against each other. You might be getting a callus in between your toes and shit. You know, you eat particular foods and the back of your gums will start hurting. One side of your face might hurt, and you know, and the other one might be fine. You might hear a ring in your ears. You look up at the sun too long, and you'll be temporarily blind. You know. You know, everywhere you look, you'll just be seeing a yellow circle. You know, you get what is called eye floaters, which is based on what you eat. You know, you get these eye floaters that float around your eyes, which in the long run, eye floaters makes your eyes blurry, which can what? Make you visually impaired. Okay, legally blind. You know, these bones can easily be broken. You know, we get sick in these bodies. So the point is that these bodies are weak. But you got guys out there making songs talking about, I ain't never been a weak Jew. Yo, checking, I ain't never been a weak Jew. Well, guess what? The Lord ain't got no use of giving you spiritual power because you ain't never been a weak Jew. The Lord is looking for the weak. In the book of Jeremiah, the Lord called us worms. So it is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. And that's what we're waiting on. You know, because once the elect gets beamed up into what the world calls UFOs and receive those extraterrestrial bodies, then the spirit is going to be sown in power. Because then they're going to be raised incorruptible. They're going to have those bodies with the law, statutes, and commandments embedded into those minds, and they're never going to sin again. And just having the ability to not sin is power within itself. It is sown a natural body, which these bodies were in is natural. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and a spiritual body. Yes, and even our spirits have bodies. Okay, it says, and so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul, which that was Yahawashi. Yahawashi was that first Adam. And the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Okay, and that last Adam is Yahawashi. Okay, what did Yahawashi say in the book of Revelation? He said he is the Alpha, which Alpha means beginning, and Omega. Omega means end. Okay, and did not Paul speak about the author and finisher of our faith? That's Yahawashi, the Omega. Okay. So I'm not going to read all this. Let's get straight to the point. Okay, verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Which starts with the elect, the 1/3. Okay? In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trump shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Okay, so in a moment, in a twinkling of the eye. Okay, so you know, hey, as that sweeping wall of nuclear catastrophe is coming your way, because America, according to Bible prophecy, Russia and China and these different countries are going to shoot nuclear warheads on America. So as that sweeping nuclear fire is coming your way, okay, guess what? You're going to get, if you're of the elect, you're going to get beamed up. Okay? Just when you think you're about to get, caught in that nuclear fire, and then, bam, your spirit leaves your body. Whoo! Right there, getting beamed up into what the world calls a UFO. Just when you thought you was about to get hit by a sweeping fire, and then all of a sudden, you seeing your spirit leave your body, your body getting burnt to ashes, getting not burnt to ashes, but your body is melting. And as you're witnessing all these other people suffering, you notice you're going up. Okay, you're going up into what the world calls UFO, which the Bible calls the chariots of Israel. Okay, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, which starts with hearing this doctrine, which leads to salvation, which leads to receiving those incorruptible bodies. And this mortal must put on immortality. And like it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon, the first chapter, righteousness is immortality. Okay, so mortality is wickedness. Immortality is righteousness. So we must put off those wicked ways in order to understand. We must put off those wicked ways and learn righteousness so that we can receive immortality. Okay, so let's read verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Because the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. So there you go. And we're not going to be saved on keeping the law. So now let's go to Jeremiah. We're going to be saved by Lord's will if we're of the elect. If we're of the elect, we're going to be saved by works and by faith, which keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, that's a part of your works. Okay? Jeremiah 31, verse 31. So let's get into this second covenant. Behold, the days come, save the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, which will start with Yahweh shall returning and beaming up the elect into what the world calls UFOs, so they can get those incorruptible bodies. We're not fighting for a corruptible crown here, like these other groups are. We're fighting for an incorruptible crown. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts. What's the inward parts? That's the mind. Okay? It's not talking about the Lord's going to put his laws in your nuts. Nah, man. You think with your mind, not with your nuts, okay? I will put my laws in their inward parts. So that inward parts is talking about your mind. and write it in their hearts. The word heart goes back to the Hebrew word lab, which means your mind. So he will write it in their hearts, and labium, hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. This is the new covenant, right? So with the law, statutes, and commandments embedded into our minds, we're never going to sin again. Okay? The reason why we're in captivity, the reason why the Lord is punishing us is because of us sinning. So if we're never going to sin again, what makes you think that Esau is going to take us out of power? Esau ain't taking us out of power. Hell, even back in the ancient world, when the kings did right by the Lord, did not the Lord deliver the enemies of Israel into the hands of the kings of Israel? Yeah, he did. So we're never going to sin again. But okay, so, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them even unto the greatest of them. So all of Israel is going to be in the kingdom of heaven. There ain't nobody going to be burning in hell, bruh. Okay? It said all of Israel shall know him. Okay? From the least of them, even unto the greatest of them. Okay? Because even 2/3 of our people are going to come back through the loins of the elect in the kingdom of heaven. And they're going to be born perfect in extraterrestrial bodies with the laws, statutes, and commandments embedded into their minds. For I will forgive their iniquity and will remember their sin no more. Why? Because we're never going to sin again. Okay? So I pray that this video was edifying to you sincere hopeful elect brothers out there, the household of faith, and to you few sisters. With that, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Salutations to the Lord's elect. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom. It's on to the next one.